And there we go again for game number 2 here in the best of 3 series. Power Rangers versus USH. And those guys, I don't know, I think they forgot to pop the Mega Swords and sing the Power Rangers song. Go, go, Power Rangers. Because their performance wasn't good at all. Not at all. The draft was exotic, but I thought it was possible with some nice pushing potential, but there was no pushing at all. Not even a tier 1 tower fell. They just GG'd out because all the team fights just didn't go their way. The only Ravage that resulted into a kill pretty much was against a Rubik, a poor little Rubik that wanted to TP out. That's pretty much it. That's all we got. Either way, I'm also sorry for the internet issues I had with my co-caster. I replaced Oxide, like, thanks to, what did he say, Comcast in the States. Apparently a very unreliable, that was too much L and R in this word, unreliable internet provider. But I brought Grandis V, some guys of you know him already, also amazing caster. So Grandis, let's hop here in game number 2 and let's see if Power Rangers can come back.
Yeah, definitely. I was kind of listening to the cast before, but either way, don't really know exactly what happened other than that Power Rangers just really weren't able to transition their draft that was really oriented around pushing. They gave the Jakiro the farm, and they just weren't able to take those towers early and ended up having to GG out. Either way, the first pick for them is going to be the IO, and they're going to follow that up with Marana, a very interesting start to the draft, but definitely can work. We'll have to see what they're going to pair with that Wisp and what they're going to pair with that Marana as well. On the side of USH, they're going to go ahead and pick up the Brewmaster as well as the Disruptor.
Yep, so USH, like, they stick to the running system because the Brewmaster, it worked out. I mean, in the mid, he had a bit less CS than the Tidehunter, but he got then, as soon as he was involved in the fights, he got some nice kills. The funny part is that the Brewmaster, like, we never seen a single Primal Split somewhere else than in the mid. He just used Primal Split twice, both times actually led to 1 kill and a double kill. But apart from that, he was just really there. Some right-clicking, some thunderclaps in that huge team fight we saw on the bottom lane. That's pretty much it. They didn't even require more. But then again, it was just a game of 15 minutes, so it's not much we could have seen there anyway. But yep, you're absolutely right. I'm looking forward to what are they synergizing that IO with. Not to mention the Marana. Like, I mean, obvious choices would be CK, Tiny, and for the Marana, we have, of course, the old school stuff like Shadow Demon and the Bane. That would something that could work out.
Yeah, definitely. I'm kind of leaning towards a Sven for this Wisp, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
I think
Sven.
that,
forgot that one.
yeah, that stun would be synergized really well with Marana. Also a natural BKB carrier, which is very important up against a Brewmaster and Disruptor. You need a BKB in pretty much all of your cores up against those two heroes. So yeah, I think especially with the Tiny band out, I think Sven is one of the stronger ones left in the pool, but we'll have to see how Power Rangers want to run it.
Yep, absolutely. And, well, let's see. We have the second bun stage here. We have the Slark as the first one for Power Rangers. They don't want to have this one. I can understand that because, like, the Marana is kind of allergic against it. You can't really leap out, as well as the Tether is also a problem there. And the Tiny being banned out by USH, so they don't want an IO Tiny combination, which I can absolutely understand.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure what their next ban is going to be. I think maybe a Shadow Demon, or they could just target more of the Wisp partners.
Yep, absolutely. But let's see. They're thinking about it. I mean, 150 for each bonus time here, but they're already used to normal time, plus they're still thinking. But to be honest, I think for USH, there's so many things are open, so right now they can only focus on what do they want to have pretty much banned, so that the IO, for example, can go for proper play as well as the Marana. I mean, the Slark is already one of the best bans you can do in this case, but there's also a lot of other disable. And Ursa so far not going for the 2 exotic picks on drafts anyway, so I think you can stick with the standard heroes. Like, for example, yeah, the Center Warner. Nice performance last game, so we don't have him this game. I guess a good choice.
Yeah, definitely. I really like what USH have picked up with these first 2 picks, however, especially once they saw the Wisp first pick. You pick up the Disruptor afterwards. Disruptor really good against the Wisp. When you see them TPing in, you can get a Static Storm set up very easily. Also in lane, against Marana, very good at bringing her back in after she leaps away if you do throw her towards the off lane or an aggressive tri-lane. So, I don't know, I'm really digging this Disruptor pickup.
Yep, absolutely, but look at it. I mean, even Ursa now thinking and thinking. Like, this second bun stage feels like the most important part of this draft at the moment. They're like both so focused on like what is there to go. I mean, our Power Rangers, like, they need a success. They need. I mean, the roster is pretty much the same except for Scandal, and yeah, there has been a lot of trouble, and maybe they're also a bit demoralized because of that, and they also, the performance in the Starlighter wasn't too amazing. But I don't know, they need a small success, like getting out here with, I don't know, $1,000 or something. That would be nice, a nice little success for them, so they get at least their name out. The fans are not too disappointed. But let's see, they go for Morphling. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Wisp Morphling, I usually see that played on the Radiant side. You can abuse the Radiant jungle a lot easier with that combo, and, well, I don't know, usually you'll see that dual lane mid. I'm not sure how Power Rangers are going to run this, however. Not one of the Wisp partners that I was really considering, to be honest. We'll have to see how it's going to work out this game. I don't know, I can see this just falling flat on its face as well. I don't think Morphling's going to be able to get online fast enough.
Yep.
But still, Power Rangers, they'll at least have something to fall back on in the late game. Mirana getting farmed, Morphling getting farmed. I don't know. Yeah, there's really not much that USH have to counteract farmed Morphling at this point. And they'll go ahead and pick up the Shadow Demon. No big surprise there. Shadow Demon,
Yeah.
wonderful with Morphling as well as Mirana.
Absolutely. I mean, we have, like, they banned out the Tidehunter, which I also can understand. They didn't want to have that Ravage, just in case this time the Tidehunter actually works out. I mean, we saw Power Rangers actually having like a mix of early game push potential with the Jakiro being in some sort of farming position. Then again, they were also quite nice when it comes to late game. I mean, the Tidehunter being super tanky, then the Lycan going for damage with that huge chunk of damage, like magical wise at least, coming out from the Skyrath Mage and the Jakiro. But it didn't work out because they never reached a point where the draft could go to its full potential. Like the pushing potential was pretty much like already bonked just by USH, and they were like not able to get this goal, and then they said like, guys, we're never gonna get this late. This time again, they go again for some sort of late game because Morphling, you already said it, he needs some time to get online, and I'm kind of afraid that USH will not give them the time again. We see the Windrunner again, we see a farming Wraith King as it looks like at the moment. It could as well be also a support one when we see another core being picked up. But I think this one is a farming one. We have the Brewmaster again mid, so I think USH is a lot earlier ready to fight. Then again, we have a Mirana Shadow Demon combination, and that might as well be, yep, what we're looking for. What's not being banned out is Invoker. Invoker would actually be interesting for Power Rangers. Then again, without Scandal, you know, Scandal being an amazing Invoker, I have to say that. And like without him in the roster, under normal circumstances, if Scandal would still be here for Power Rangers, I think we had an Invoker right now.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure if they're going to pick that up, but I think it would be a solid pickup. Shadow Demon, good setup for the Sunstrike, and you can do plenty of things with that Invoker and make some space for the Morphling, but USH are going to go ahead and pick themselves up a Faceless Void here.
Yep, that's also gonna be, I don't know, interesting, because now we have a Brewmaster, a Wraith King in a support role, and a Faceless Void farming. So, what do you think? Offlane, is this, I don't know, is this farming Wraith King in a try with an offlane utility Void, as we see it, like, or as we saw it already in the ESL 1, Brewmaster mid of course, or is this support Wraith King with an offlane Windrunner and the Faceless Void farming? That's gonna be the interesting decision, but let's see. On the other side we have a Beastmaster, so no Ravage this time, but of course we have a Primal Roar. Definitely interesting, stun on multiple targets, very interesting also against Faceless Void, because in the chrono you still get stunned and he doesn't care about BKBs because it goes through magic immunity. So, well, that's definitely interesting.
I don't know, I'm not sure they can really afford to have that Faceless Void be in a utility position. They just don't have a lot to combo up with it. I mean, I guess you can set up some good power shots, and then you have the Disruptor Static Storm. I don't know. I just don't think they have a lot of damage to pump into the Chronosphere, and I think Faceless Void's going to need to be the one that dishes out that damage. But early on, at least they could just rely on the Brewmaster and Wraith King to make some space in these team fights, and then later on have the Faceless Void pick up those items.
Yep, but first of all, of course, let's introduce the team. Here on the dire side we have Jessica playing the Mirana. In the mid there is at the moment J4 and Weejessic on Shadow Demon and Wisp. Of course they're not gonna stay there. We have the Morphling played by Moon, and F&G is picking up the Beastmaster.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and introduce the Radiant side. We do have a little bit of pause, so should be fairly easy. Stock going to be playing on the Wraith King, heading towards the safe lane. Joining him will be our Zeke on the Rin Ranger, as well as Android P on the Disruptor. Towards mid lane, we're going to have a Brewmaster handled by no one, and then towards the off lane, we're going to have Pashe Bashu on the Faceless Void.
I always love to say that. We have a Brewmaster played by no one. Ah. No one is playing him. It's a bot.
Definitely. That would be an impressive bot, either way. Let's see. On the... Yeah, no huge aggressive rotations coming out from both teams. It's interesting that we see this Shadow Demon and Wisp being paired up to drop down some early wards. They're going to secure some high ground vision in the middle lane on a fairly defensive ward spot. I don't know, an interesting level 1 ward, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's quite early, to be honest, like to pop that wall, of course, because in 30 seconds the creeps are about to spawn. Another some seconds till they come, so this wall is actually gonna run out fairly soon. By the way, the set of the Void is, I don't know, interesting. I've never seen this one before. What head is this? Ancient crowns, the ancient set here. Interesting. Egyptian style.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. Could be worse. Could be the Cthulhu set. He is going to pick himself up a double damage rune up in the top lane and eat one and auto attack from the Wisp, but that's going to be about it. It looks like we will have that dual lane mid with Moon as well as the Wisp handled by Zik. So, I mean, it's, I don't know, interesting. I usually don't like this very much because the Wisp can't stack very effectively on the Dire side. But still, he can back off and stack for the Morphling after he gets an early start. Now, having infinite mana on your Morphling is always a nice thing.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, you can spam out that wave, of course, and he never has to worry about like mana missing for morphing forth and back. That's definitely something interesting. But if that dual lane works out, that's the good question. Now, of course, the Void having quite a good start, of course, with a double damage here, and so he gets at least some denies. But he picked it up fairly early. That's why he won't have too much use of that. Yep, of that one. But look at them. They're going already for a man fight here. Just forth and back. Level 1 time lock being picked up, so he's waiting for those bashes. In the meantime, of course, the IO is trying to get some nice harass into the Brewmaster, but of course he picked up Drunken Brawler, so there's of course a lot of mischance, plus minus uphill misses. It's making, yeah, a hard job for the Wisp to actually some nice harass in there, especially with the low base damage anyway, 48 damage. With a Stout Shield, the Brewmaster is not carrying too much.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like Ush are going to be fairly happy with the way that these lanes have panned out, at least for the Faceless Void. And it looks like mid Brewmaster should at least be able to get his levels and be just fine. So I think the real decider is going to be this bottom lane, how this tri-lane works out.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, tri-lane versus dual lane. I don't think the Mirana is going to pick up too much farm. Then again, Chisika doing quite well at the moment. It's 3-1.
Oh, Shackle onto Cheshire Cat. Follow-up send from Stock. Not going to be thrown out on the Mirana. She leaped away. Now they're going to change targets onto the Shadow Demon. Will the right clicks be there? He's going to start with Shadow Poison. We're going to miss the first spot on the Beastmaster up top. Looks like he just got a couple too many lucky bashes on him and down and bottom. Let's see. It looks like nobody's going to die here. Wraith King got dangerously low, but still, I was not expecting First Blood to be top.
Nope, absolutely not. Like, there's a 3-2 engagement on bottom, and of course the Faceless Void is getting a solo kill on the Brewmaster. That was absolutely unexpected. So the lucky Bashmaster, 2 points here, of course, 15% chance. Wow, that's a perfect start for Void, like for offlane Void especially.
Yeah, definitely. Pashe Bashu getting the lucky bashes here. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not even sure how that went down, to be honest. I'd say that Beastmaster has the early advantage, but not anymore. Let's see.
Nope, not anymore at all, because he's, I don't know, of course the Void having some sort of XP advantage now, and of course him getting level 5, level 6 earlier. Like, next time he gets some nice harass into the Beastmaster and he's level 6, he can just pop Chrono and just finish the job pretty much. So it's very, very dangerous, because the Brewmaster also doesn't have anything to prevent that. But look at it, they're just man fighting, and he's going for it, and like with all the bashes, it's working out. He's doing a lot more damage on the Beastmaster.
Yeah, I don't know, and in the draft I was a little bit concerned for this Faceless Void that he wouldn't be able to get off to a good start, but he's sitting at the top of the CS board as well as getting that First Blood. Well, we're going to have a little bit of action down in bottom. Shadow Demon looks like he ate a Wraith King stun, but now out of mana the Wraith King can't really commit for that. It's just going to be some traded harass.
Yep, absolutely. You know, in the mid we have like at least nice harass coming out here on the Brewmaster. No one has to use the bottle. At least his 2 charges. The Wisp went in there. Nice spirit damage coming out by We Just Sake, and of course it creates a lot of space for the Morphling here that can, yeah, is actually able to farm. But then again, also the Morphling. Oh, we had just a Shackle, but it's just a level 1 Shackle if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. But
oh, disruption going out. Mirana throws the arrow. It's going to land Dota Stock, a fairly low range arrow. They wanted to hit Android P, but they won't be able to. He's getting body blocked by the illusions, and the Shadow Poison is going to be enough. Another Shackle going to latch onto J4. There's no follow up for it, however, and I think that Shadow Demon very well played with those illusion body blocks.
It was a bit lucky. I mean, there were like one illusion
lucky.
here, one illusion there, and he was boxed in directly here. Like, that was, yeah, on the edge, like this nice pillar when it comes to, what is that actually? That's like some sort of torch, like some fire. Like, it looks like some geyser fire. You know what I mean? Like Iceland stuff? Like the volcanic eruption stuff. It looks a bit like that.
Well, either way, Android P has made his way up towards the top lane after giving up that kill bottom. He has glimpses as well as the Chronosphere being thrown out onto FNG. FNG in a lot of trouble. They're TPing in to try to help him, but the TP gets cancelled. No way they can save him. He got 1 bash inside the Chronosphere, and that's all he needed.
Yep, absolutely. That's exactly what I said. Like, with that, like half a level or even more than half a level advantage after the solo kill, he just had the Chronosphere so early, and the first kill on him, that was to be expected. And even that rotation coming in, I don't think they could have prevented anything from happening there.
Yeah, I really don't know what they're going to do about this Faceless Void, to be honest. He's gotten 2 kills, he's farming excellently, and I think he's going to have like a wonderful game come the mid game. He'll just be able to get kills whenever Chronosphere is off of cooldown. When it's on cooldown, he'll just be able to farm away and get those big items laid. And I'm not sure PR are really getting a good enough trade in this mid lane on Moon. He's not really farming poorly, but he's not farming great either.
Yeah, it's 25 and 12 on the Brewmaster. It's 11 and 2. That is against the dual lane, so I don't know. As you said, it's kind of mixed. It's not too great, but I think they might actually find the Shadow Demon. No, they don't. It's kind of just looking at each other and then going back. And in the meantime, of course, Cat finding all the farm in the world. But now, of course, Wraith King coming back. What is he going for? Is it a PT rush? It seems like it, at least.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. There's a haste stream picked up by the Wisps, and he uses it immediately, looking for this courier snipe. They're not microing it. He's going to drop the split from the Brewmaster. The Boulder Toss is going to fly towards the Wisp, but it's just taking too long to get there. He's going to throw the Wisp up in the air to reposition the Brewlings. He's not tracking him down with the Purge. Wisp, he needed to purge off that haste rune, I think, and now the tether away. Wisp is going to be just fine.
Yep, I don't know, the Brewmaster popping the Primal Split there. That was a bit, I don't know, enthusiastic, very optimistic to go for that one, but oh well. I mean, look top, the Beastmaster is now level 6, and actually he's opening directly into Arrow. Nice one. Beautifully done.
Definitely. Faceless Void, he had the Chronosphere but couldn't get it off. He was chain stunned perfectly. Nice rotation coming out from Cheshire Cat, and a much needed kill going the way of PR. Well, now with that kill on the Faceless Void, things are looking up for the Power Rangers, as this Wraith King as well as the Brewmaster really aren't farming very well at all. It's interesting to see that this Wraith King's not able to pick up the farm. I don't know, maybe just too scared of this disruption into Arrow combo, but with Cheshire Cat, with Cheshire Cat rotating towards top, I think he should be able to get at least a little bit more than what he's getting now.
Yep, absolutely interesting. And now we see actually Wisp and Beastmaster combination just going here for stacked camps. They want to get some farm on FNG, like catch up there in the jungle, especially with the stacked camps. Of course, mana and everything on the Beastmaster that helps, but he's actually going back and not cleaning up that kill. Actually, the Wisp is the one taking at least some of the kills here on those camps. Interesting to see. I think the Brewmaster could have stood around just, you know, cleaning it up with the next axes. He even had those axes while he was running back to the base, so interesting. But I guess he wants to come in another lane. I mean, the good thing about Primal Raw is it is such a short cooldown. It's 80, 75, 60. So, oh wait, is it 60 at the end? No, 70 actually. So it's a bit shorter, a bit longer than a minute, I mean, and yeah, therefore easy. You can rotate, make something happening.
Yeah, we do have 3 Radiant Heroes hanging around the mid lane, but a TP towards top from the Disruptor. They're going to give up on any aggressive potential that they would have had. Our Zeke is still hanging around in the trees, and I really haven't seen really a huge effect coming out from the Wind Ranger. She hit a couple of shackles, but that's about it. No assists for Wind Ranger just yet.
Yep, absolutely, and I don't know.
Well, Morphling, he's gonna get a nice shackle, and now the clap. They'll be able to blow him up. Well, speaking of not having an impact, RZ going to prove us completely wrong. He's going to hit a very nice shackle on the Morphling.
Wow,
and Morphling, he picked up the Midas.
There's a Chronos.
Oh, yeah. Yep, and they're going to get a nice bash onto Cheshire Cat, but the Primal War is going to go the way of Pesci Bashu. Now the Wraith King Fire Blast is going to land on FNG. Arrow to Fly, it's going to land on Creep. Unfortunately, they dropped him on ultimate. They're going to glimpse it back. A little bit miscommunication. They time walk forward there, and now Cheshire Cat hanging around. They have vision of him. They're going through the Wraith Fire Blast. Leech is not going to latch from the Shackle Shot, and it looks like everybody's going to make out there. Pesci Bashu is still chasing here, and now they're TPing back in with the Axis Android P falling very low, and the Morphling's going to be able to clean up that kill with the Waveform auto attack.
Oh, nice jukes here also by Cheshire Cat. Now the Void actually trying to TP out. Is there arrow? Oh, it won't connect. He hesitated there a bit. That was too bad. I think with the arrow hitting there, they might have gotten another Void kill. But in the end, nice kiting around. I actually thought they made a 3-2-2 play here when Cheshire Cat was staying around and the sentry came, but he somehow still managed to leap out there nicely in time. He didn't disjoin the stun, but he had enough stick charges to keep himself alive there, even through the damage over time. So, yep, Power Range is striking back. There was a Chronosphere with not much outcome. A 3-3 here in the 10th minute. So, it's definitely looking better than game number 1.
Definitely, and, well, I don't know, the Morphling, his Midas was delayed by that kill. Speaking of the Morphling, there is this Primal Split in mid. He's going to throw the Morphling up in the air, try to get this kill on the Wisp, but Wisp, he's bottling up and he can't go for it. Now he's going to drop the Morphling down and waveform away. Morphling's going to be just fine, and the second Primal Split not going to go into a kill.
Yep, the Primal Split so far not having any impact whatsoever. The first one was on a hasted IO that just had it away after a while. And I don't know, this one, like being on Moon here on the Morphling, also not. Like, I think he should have joined rather team fight somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. Well, up top, they're going to get a nice shackle onto Cheshire Cat. Wraith Fire Blast not going to be disjointed. He already used the leap, and he'll be blown up. TP is going to be canceled. No way he can come in there, but the relocate. They're going on to Pesci Bashu. The waveform is going to be off the mark. And Pesci Bashu looks like he's going to survive juking through the woods. He has Chronosphere going to drop it on 2. He catches out Dota Stock, but it's not going to matter. They get the Wisp, and now they're focusing on the Moon. They get a nice shackle latch onto Moon, and now it looks like the Morphling might be the next one to fall. He has the waveform, but not enough mana to use it. He's trying to morph strength as best he can, but he's out of mana now, and eventually it looks like he will fall. All they need is a couple more auto attacks, and that last one from Void will secure the kill.
That was horrible, horrible, horrible. That was a huge impact for the game, like how it's gonna be from now on, because that was Mirana, I don't know, being very cocky without having the leap. With leap, he could have just, you know, leaped somewhere in the trees, maybe TP out and everything. Everything would have been fine, but of course he tried to still go for here and there some harass, but then easy going, especially for the Void who has nice levels. But this relocate and the waveform being off target and the Chrono still available, that was everything but good.
Yeah, definitely, and yeah, even though they don't have the traditional follow-up for Chrono, well, down and bottom, they're going to get Stag Field, Kinetic Field combo on the bottom lane. FNG's still alive. He's going to be glimpsed back, however, he's invis with the Mirana ultimate. Do they have detection on the ground? Doesn't look like they do. Wisp is hanging around. He's bottling up the Beastmaster under the guise of invis. Now he's leashed up, but Power Shot going to give them vision of the Wisp. Time walk forward by the Phaseless Void, and a lucky first hit bash. And now the Shackle will delay them just long enough to get the kill on the Wisp.
Yeah, and FNG hiding without a TP here. But what a horrible engagement again. Like the Disruptor being so fast on his Static Storm. So in the end, the Beastmaster just, you know, just in the cast animation of his roar, like, I don't know, ending up being silenced, being stuck in that kinetic field. Like, it's just not going Power Ranger's way. They try to do something, it's just not working out.
Yeah, and it used to be 3-3, and, well, in the last couple minutes, it's been a 5-0 exchange. Now the blink forward by the Brewmaster. He doesn't have enough mana to really do much of anything.
Mid.
Relocate back. The Wisp, he's coming into this. He's tethering up to the Morphling. Not sure what that really was. They're going to get the Boulder Toss onto Ouija Stick, but then they're going to back off. Yet another Primal Split going to be off the mark, and Android P going to cop an arrow here, and he'll be blown up by the Morphling as well. They throw a Boulder the way of Moon and throw the Mirana up in the air. Now the Chronosphere only going to catch out the Mirana here. Will be enough. Morphling walks into it, and he can't do anything here. He's going to get them, Replicate off onto the Faceless Void. Now they're tethering forward. Arrow to fly from the Mirana, not going to land. They do have vision of the Void coming up from those Wisp Orbs, and now Dota Stock in a little bit of trouble. He has the ultimate. He's going to throw a stun, and then come back to life.
Primal Roar.
Yeah, they're going to throw the war the way of Dodostock, and Dodostock's going to fall fairly easily here in the end, and now they're looking for more Faceless Void. He's trying to get this kill into FNG, but with the Mask of Madness, he's just falling too quickly. He has the time walk in a couple of seconds, and now they're going to lose the Disruptor on the backlines as well. Air Deflect from Lana going to be off the mark, and this fight is very spread out. They're looking for more. Everybody's so darn low. Time walk forward, and now the Blinken from the Brewmaster. He gets the clap off. He's going to blow up the Wisp, and now he's looking for more. He slows down Cheshire Cat, leap to the low ground, and it looks like he'll be able to get away. Blink coming out from cooldown in 3 seconds. They lost a courier also. Brewmaster, is he gonna go for it? Let's see. Moon is showing in mid, and he's going to be able to blow him up with that guaranteed crit double kill for no one.
Why did he not go back there? I don't understand. Like that ward, this ward here saw the Brewmaster here already moving this way. Like I don't know. No, I don't understand. Like, especially he was agility morphed at that point, so it was really just the thunderclap and the guaranteed crit that's anyway coming out by Drunken Brawler. I really don't understand that play by Moon. Like, either he didn't see him or... Either way, the fight before was actually nice. It was in favor for Power Rangers, but of course with the Morphling, who can't use the Midas again, like, he lost so much Midas time in this game, like probably 2 minutes or more already. And this time again, sitting out, like not being able, I think they want to go on
they're going
J4.
to jump onto J4. He gets the Disruption Soul Catcher off onto the Brewmaster. He might still go for this, slow him down. They're going to bring him back into the loving arms of the Brewmaster now with the crits and a power shot from Arzik. They'll be able to blow up the poor Shadow Demon.
Yeah, but in the meantime, of course, at least the Morphling got the kill here on the Wraith King. He wasn't even level 11, so Reincarnation still a 260-second cooldown. Even the second one would be a 160-second cooldown, which really, really hurts. And now, let's see, maybe they want to contest here in the mid, but I don't know, like a Beastmaster alone, that won't be enough.
Yeah, definitely not. They did also get the tier 1 tower. Morphling got the last hit, so he should be fairly happy as far as net worth is concerned. And a nice infusion of gold for him will make up for a little bit of that lost Midas time.
Yep, absolutely. But let's see where it goes. I mean, right now, they still have like a decent late game Power Rangers. And we saw in the fight in the mid how fast it can also like crush for Ush. Crash for Ush. Whatsoever. It does really matter. I'm perfect with my word games today. But either way, like that fight in the mid showed me that Power Rangers, if they focus and if they get the plays correctly out, then it also goes their favor. So 11-7, we have to look the first time in the crafts, and we have like a small advantage for us here, 2k, and when it comes to gold, it's pretty much a roller coaster all the time. So everything's possible this game here.
Yeah, of course, at this point, Morphling is sitting at the top of the net worth slot, but 2k of that gold is invested into the Midas. So, Moon really not all that effective so far. We have a relocate coming on the backlines. They're going to drop the Savage Storm as well as Chronosphere on top of both of them. Shackle the latch, and now Moon looking to be in a world of hurt here. He's going to try to straight Morphe waveforms away, and now they're looking for this turn here. They've stunned up FNG. He does not have the Primal Roar. They're going to lose the Disruptor as well as Wisp. They throw the Morphling up in the air. They're trying to chase down J4 here. Defensive Disruptor will keep him alive for a little bit longer, and now the Brewlings are there. They're going to stun him up. The Wraith King's falling fairly low. He doesn't have the ultimate, still only level 1. No one gets a dominating streak, and now they're chasing forward. Cheshire Cat looking for this kill on the Wraith King. All he needs is one more auto attack. He's going to be slowed down by the board. Now Time Walk in. Faceless Void, he tries to go back in, but the Starfall just does too much damage. He's trying to run away with the Mask of Madness. That might just end up killing him. All they need is one more auto attack. Cheshire Cat has the arrow to fly. He's going to let it loose. Whoa, Faceless Void. Oh, we'll be able to joke that. Oh,
that was so close, but
now.
look in the meantime.
Yeah, Cheshire Cat, he's going to be glimpsed back into the Brewmaster. Now the kinetic field. He doesn't have the leap available for another 3 seconds. It's coming up on cooldown. He has the ultimate, and he probably is not going to throw it. He has the blink forward and one more crit coming out from No One. He'll be able to secure that kill. No One doesn't have a lot of mana. He's hanging around a little bit too long, possibly. I don't know. Moon is here, and we'll shackle onto Moon. Let's see. Yeah,
These shackles,
just going to be. Yep.
They're worth a lot. And now Void is actually coming in. Chrono, unfortunately not ready. He didn't go for, or actually he wants to go for the Arcanum Scepter, but of course he didn't have the time to finish it yet. That would be quite sick with a 60-second cooldown all the way, because now with the Arcanum Scepter it would already be ready again. But look at Ush, like they feel they have still, even after this fight, quite some momentum, so they want to go for it. Let's see what's happening.
Well, they'll at least get this 2-1 tower, no deny, coming out from Power Rangers, and, well, I think they'll back off after this, but I don't know.
To be honest, I felt like the Morph could have done more there, but like after he fed that kill in the mid, he was so careful. Like after the Panda came back, for example, he was really low HP. Also the Wraith King not having his ultimate, but like Moon actually decided to just give him a level 1 adaptive strike instead of a waveform and killing him under the tower. So Jessica had to follow like even through the Ancients almost to the tier 2 tower just to get the possibly the Void kill and of course the Wraith King kill. And Moon just not playing a role there at all. I think he kind of misjudged the situation. I think Power Rangers, if they would have responded properly, they could have turned this around even better. Not just the Wraith King, even the Panda and even the Void would have been a possible kill, but they were like
oh,
really,
they're
really
going
careful.
for the Chronosphere. They're going to catch out 3 with it, and Bashu trying to focus down this Wisp. Arzik is actually going to run into it, but with the follow-up Static Field Kinetic, or Static Storm Kinetic Shield, excuse me, they'll be able to get Moon, it seems, as well. Bashu's trying to strike more, but to no avail. Now they know where Cheshire Cat is, but they should be able to back off.
Yep, what a Chrono. Freeman Chrono, taking out the Wisp first, so he can't even like rescue, relocate the Morph, for example. Like there's no defensive disruption by the Shadow Demon, which is like the worst case scenario for the Void. And I don't know, this way they're gonna get the tier 2 tower, and with this I think Ash secured themselves the lead in the gold. Look at this, after the first fight it's like almost 1,500. With this tower it's gonna get towards 2,000, 3,000, but still, Power Rangers, they're still sort of in the game, but now it's getting more and more a problem. The Void even finding this stack camp here. So yeah, this is a double camp, Kratz, but an arrow flying, but rather helping him than anything else.
Yeah, eventually we'll back off. A little scary to hang around there deep in enemy lines. But in top lane, they're making it go for FNG here. He's trying to run towards the south. He summons the Hawk. He's going to be shackled up. It's not going to latch, however. And FNG, he's decently tanky. They should be able to clean up this kill.
He's spam roll and then just go out. But I mean, now he doesn't have any mana. But
oh, glimpse back coming up from the Disruptor. FNG, he's trying to get away here. The kinetic field will latch in. Now Bashu, he's coming in here with a couple of bashes.
He's not using it. Why you don't use it? I don't understand. It's a very low cooldown ability. If you know you're gonna die anyway, you might as well use it on those 3 heroes behind you. I also think he could have used the Roar and then just, you know, TP out, because the Roar, wait, this is a level 2 I think. Yeah, absolutely. So the stun duration is 3.5 seconds, so Roar on both and TP out. I mean, he had mana for Shackle, so he probably would have still died, but I don't know. I think he could have handled the situation much better. But either way, good for Ush. They get like the solo kill, and in the end the tier 1 tower even survives. He only managed to get him down to like 300 HP. I mean, he was interested in some solo pushing with his level 1 Necro, but yeah, it's a level 1 Necro, so therefore the pushing potential coming out there also fairly limited.
Yeah, and at this point, I don't know, Ush have a lot of momentum. Even though the lead isn't extremely large, I feel that the items that they're picking up are just a little bit more important than the ones that PR have at their disposal. Brewmaster has finished a completed Ags. They now have a blink on the Wraith King, so he'll be a little bit more of a factor in these next couple of team fights. And yeah, I don't know, this Morphling, he has Midas and Yasha. He's really not going to be able to do much with that. This level 1 Necro book isn't really going to affect much either, coming out from the Beastmaster.
Yep. And I think they're looking at a kill on the Brewmaster, but the Brewmaster is the target they can't really get down at all at the moment. Like, the question is, does he get his Primal Split off or not? In the meantime, of course, we have 3 of Ush actually going here for the tier 1 tower. The Chrono, of course, is ready again, so let's see. There is actually, FNG just got a kill on the mid tower with the Boar and the Necro unit, so that's at least some gold for Power Rangers. But yeah, also tier 1 tower going down for Ush here in the bottom lane, and they're still waiting for the Panda to make something happen. And I don't know, the Hawk is coming, scouting, but FNG, I don't know, it's nighttime, so he actually didn't see him when he was somewhere in this area, but I don't know. Now with the Disruptor here, something you really don't want to open.
They're going to drop an Adaptive Strike as well as War onto No Unknown. He's being locked down, but the Static Storm is going to keep him alive long enough to get the split off. He's going to boulder toss the Wave Moon. A nice defensive disruption. All these Brewlings are walking into the Chronosphere, but he caught out too many enemy heroes, the Wisp. He's trying to get out. Now they're going to change targets onto Moon. He's strength morphing, but he's shackled in place for way too long. What was that shackle? And now Morphling's going to die as well. They throw the Shadow Demon in the air, and Shadow Demon is almost assuredly dead. No one drops the clap as well as a guaranteed crit, and they'll just blow up the SD.
Wow, like, I mean, like, to be honest, Ush, the reason why Ush, I mean, like, none of them is like a crazy super farmer or like crazy solo plays. It's just the amount of disables they have, how they chain them, and like how many people are in them. That's what makes Ush so strong right now. They, again, a Freeman Chrono, 2 shackles in a row, like amazingly and beautifully done, and in that like split second that might have been an opening for the morph to like waveform out, that was Dota's dog, of course, with the level 4 Ray Fire Blast. That's another 2 seconds stun. That morphling, he just stood there and he couldn't do anything. It's just like watching, I don't know, just watching your screen like a movie. Like, it's nothing you can actively do. This was just like watching a game. But in the mid we have a relocate, and this time they get the Pro Master. This is also a monster kill going down, and actually the Wisp is the one who picks it up.
Yeah, you probably want that on your Beastmaster or your Morphling a lot better, but still getting the Brewmaster is very important. We have replicate away from the Morphling. Everybody should be fine. They do have vision.
Oh, but look at this. The Void versus Chisaket. Now he's following him, and no, yeah, the bashes. Look at the bashes, but now no movement speed. 3 seconds to... Oh, he still wants to go for it. He still wants to go for it. There's the chrono, but they're not inside. Now they're actually slow. There's a time walk. Needs... Oh my god, beautifully done here by Chisaket. Now they can actually follow him because no chrono. Then the speed is there, but oh no, Primal Roar, of course, they need that to lock him down. But still, nice play by Chisaket to not die there. Whoa, 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 that was so close, it wasn't even funny.
Yeah, pretty much. They were leaping and time walking everywhere. I don't know, just swapping positions, really, and trying to get that last auto attack onto the Mirana. But in the end, Chronosphere not really going to be that big of a deal, as it is only a 60-second cooldown with that Aghanim Scepter finished on the Void. So they'll have it up for the next fight at the very least. But still, it would be nice for him to get that kill, and well, at least they didn't lose their Void for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is 5 seconds chrono now every 60 seconds. Like, I really, it's amazing. That's why I'm actually a big fan of like rushing the Aghanim Scepter on Void, especially before level 16 if you get it out. But Moonlight Shadow has been used. They want to go for the Void, but they need, of course, a nice arrow. Primal Split, Primal Roar into Arrow, and there actually it hits with the relocate, and no, beautifully done. Now finally Power Rangers is coming with the plays they need. This is a dominating streak for the Beastmaster, so they're getting all those big kill streaks of Ash perfectly done.
Yeah, and with that FNG, he'll almost have his Necronomicon 3, and once he finishes the stack, he'll have Necronomicon 3 and some gold to boot on top of that. And yeah, pretty much, I don't think that relocate was absolutely necessary, but they got the kill on the Faceless Void in the very end, so I don't know, that's really what matters. And now FNG, Necronomicon 3, that's, I don't know, really good for them.
Yeah, it's really nice. Like, that was a mega kill, if I'm not mistaken, and a dominating string. Like, in summary, that was more than 2,500 gold for Power Rangers with just 2 kills. That's how high value those kills were. Power Rangers needed that as like catch-up kills, and oh well. But let's see. I mean, they're catching up, but still, like, with the plays they have right now, Chisaket TPing out, there's 2 people, just Moon, and we just take, and they have to be careful because the Void is coming in. At the same time also,
he cancels the TP of Moon, and now the Chronosphere going to catch Moon on the edge. A beautiful Chrono, and Moon, he's straight through this, but
no relocate. He has no relocate. He wanted to take him out there, but 10 seconds. 10 seconds was what he needed to get Moon out there. And yeah, Ash, they're gonna answer with an instant Roshan. They instantly go in. They know without the Morphling that Power Rangers won't fight. And I don't think the Morphling even has a buyback, but even if he had, no, he doesn't have a buyback. Moon, like, it's a fairly poor Morphling as such, for the fact that he has been babysitted all the time and had like at least the opportunity to free farm. So first Roshan going to Ash's side, and this is a Radiant Roshan, which is always a bad sign. Like, you can always tell a game is not going well if the Radiant side gets Roshan.
Yeah, definitely. Down in bottom when they drop the, excuse me, the relocate onto the Faceless Void.
Oh, look, they found Shadow Demon. Defensive disruption on himself, just buying some time. There we go. Easy kill. So that's Roshan +1. Bonus kill.
Yep, I don't know. I didn't think that relocate on the Faceless Void would affect the game any, but that 10 seconds before they could relocate. Well, now they're relocating up towards top, trying to get this tier 1 tower. They're going to blink forward with the Brewmaster. They're going to roar up No One, and No One looks like he's just going to die here. He does have the split. He's going to pop it. Now TP Spores is coming in. Chronosphere, Faceless Void looking for it. They're going to relocate away. Now they're looking for FNG. They're going to drop the Chronosphere and cancel the TP out. The Brewlings have ran into the Chrono, but in the end, it looks like FNG is going to die. They do have detection on the ground. They do have 1 sentry. He's going to walk out of it, but now the Shackle. They'll be able to get a nice kill on the Beastmaster.
Yep, and the towers also. Yep. Too bad. Tower going down. I mean, denied. Like, going down as in being denied. So, like, on top of that kill, they also get the tower denied, which was the main goal for Power Rangers, just for more gold, getting the tower with the Beastmaster pushing potential, but oh well. I mean, at least the Morphling made it out in this fight, which is kinda a good thing, but also look at the Wraith King. Wraith King now, of course, with the ages, you gotta kill him pretty much 3 times. And 3 times chewing through a Wraith King. It's quite hard, even though the Wraith King, I mean, not too well farmed actually, because like he focused on his initiation, so he only got the Blink Dagger, then some damage of course, plus the attack speed from the Maelstrom. So 1500 HP, but then again he's also level 16, which makes it a 60 seconds ultimate, and oh we'll see. But in the mid, at least they trade tier 2 for tier 2, but a Shackle, look at the Shackle, epic!
Yeah, now they're looking for more of this poor Wisp. All they need is one more auto attack. They're going to glimpse him back. Now they have vision. TV attempt from Moon. They're not going to be able to cancel that one. And unfortunately, the Morphling gets it out. Or at
the
least
Void actually going down. And now they focus here on the poor Wraith King. Now he's actually stuck under the tower. They might actually kill him 3 times. Look at this. That's number 2. And make it free. Look at this. Just a cat. No arrow. No nothing. He's going to go. Wow. This was actually... I think this trade was much better for Power Rangers. Like the tier 2 wasn't brought down by Moon, but they trade Io for a Void and for a Wraith King who had Aegis and his ultimate, and the ultimate not even being say it level 3. So this is a 160-second cooldown plus Aegis gone. That's 3 kills plus a Void. That's amazing actually what Power Rangers just did. That was definitely much worth better, more worth it. Now that was the word I was looking for, more worth it.
Yeah, definitely. Also, the mid-tier 1 tower just 6 HP out of deny range, so they won't be able to deny the tower either. So if PR are able to win one more fight, that mid-tier 2 tower is pretty much as good as dead.
Yeah, absolutely. It's 24 and 14 here in the 13th minute, and you guys always know I'm always a bit about stats, so let's look at the crafts and let's see what we got there. We have, well, 8,000 experience roughly, and when it comes to gold, actually only 3,000. So yeah, you always know, like, I'm up with the stats. Like the 30 minutes is like a magical mark. If a team has like above 10k, around the 15k gold mark, then there is like above 90% chance that the team will also take a win. But this time we had the 30-minute mark, and I don't know. I mean, Ush still having, of course, the advantage, 10 kills ahead, and they're doing still fine, especially with the farm. They still have a Void. They still have, like, if you really take everything in consideration and all the initiations that went so nicely so far, I think they have the advantage. But Power Rangers, they're everything but out in this game. Everything can happen. 31st minute, and let's see. Ush sort of, I don't know, stricken by the fact that the last few fights didn't go really their way. So let's see what's happening here. Dodastalk, he actually has to be careful because no ultimate. 30 seconds. And look at it. Oh my god, they wanted to go for it. He actually was fake casting, and so instant blink out. Too bad Moon didn't like adapt to strike him there, just to, you know, interrupt the TP and then just go directly on Dodastalk. But I think we're gonna see a full out fight very soon.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like they're just going to back off, however.
Yeah.
Tier 2 tower is in deny range and will be denied by Ush.
Yep, this is the second
in
tower.
mid Chronosphere onto G4 and poor Disruptor, or Shadow Demon, excuse me. He'll be blown up, relocate, coming onto the Faceless Void. Will they be able to close the distance? They won't. And now he has backup. They need to get out of there. Indeed, they will. They're going to wait for him away with Moon and tether away with the Wisp, and they won't be able to catch them out.
Absolutely, and that's the biggest problem about a Void, who has now, of course, the Arcanum Scepter, is also level 16, so we have the full duration of a Chronosphere, as well as just a reduced cooldown, which is only 60 seconds, so every 60 seconds, if Power Rangers is together, you have the chance of like a huge Chrono with like 3-4 people in there, and if you're alone, then of course the Void is just snacking you away. Like a Void in that state of farm, instead, I don't know, time of the game, is always -1. You can count on that. Like, he will take out at least one, maybe the Shadow Demon, maybe the Wisp, and oh my god, they want to find that Brewmaster.
Yeah, they found out Beastmaster, however, they're going to try to tether him away. Now the Static Storm dropped on both of them with the clap. They're going to be able to get
this
two, and that's a
Shackle again.
kill. Yep. Arzik has been on point with those shackles. Now the Morphling's coming in. No one. He's stunned up for now. He has the ultimate. He's going to decide to pop it. The BKB on the Morphling's really not doing all that much. And in fact, Moon falling very low. He's entirely agility morphed there, and he will go all the way strength. He's out of mana now, and might be in trouble to get vision with the power shot. They have a blink coming off of cooldown on Dota Stock in a couple of seconds. Oh, maybe they'll be able to get this with the ultimate.
One.
On Dota Stock.
Blink. Stun.
Yeah, defensive disruption will keep him alive for a little bit more. Purge going the way of Dota Stock, but it looks like Moon's going to die without mana. You really can't do anything on the backlines. Moon is just cleaning up house. He'll lose the Wraith King ultimate, but in the end, it doesn't really matter at all because he's going to have it off of cooldown in another 50 seconds. It's level 16 now, and they're going to be very happy with that last engagement. 3 for 0, I think.
They got caught out all alone. Like first the Shadow Demon alone, then the Beastmaster alone. Like just dying alone in the mid, while the Morphling using all his mana for the morph, not having enough for the waveform there, not having a stick or anything like that. Of course, obviously he doesn't have it, but in this case I think he would have been happy about it. Also, the burst damage, like this arrow was golden on the Brewmaster, but under normal circumstances with a properly farmed morph, they would have gotten that kill on the Brewmaster easily. But with the lack of damage they have to suffer under lack of damage all the time already. So the Brewmaster again saving his Panda R's into the Primal Split, just 200 HP away from his death or so. It's, I don't know, that's the biggest problem about not having the farm. It's not just that, of course, it's harder. It's really the damage that's missing on Power Ranger's side. The plays are good. The rest, I don't know, not so much. And now, oh god, Moon is just going one-on-one here against the Void, but the Void, okay, being scared enough to just go out. And yep, the Wraith King also just not giving anything to that fight. I think they could have taken Moon there, like seriously.
Probably, but they will back off. They didn't have all of the support there, and well, after that fight, no one had a full like 5,300 gold and just one shot bought an Assault Cuirass, and also another big item pickup. A Dying Attempt coming out. It will succeed by the Wraith King. Android P finishes up the Aghanim Scepter. So now that Morphling, the BKB is really not going to be all that effective. He's going to have to preemptively pop it in the fight. And I don't know, they could still catch him out in the Static Storm, especially off of a nice chrono coming out from Peshu Beshu. And, well, it's looking really good for them, to be honest.
Yep, absolutely. This is also, I mean, this is the third denied tower. It must be really frustrating for Power Rangers here. Like, they try here and there, some plays, get some split push up and whatnot, but the third tower denied, like, besides already not having the gold lead, being behind in farm and everything, now also those tower denies, it's just not working out. But let's see, maybe top here, also this, too bad, this one didn't latch, but this, seriously, Arzik with his shackles, amazing performance this game, I have to say it. Like, how many shackles he hit, like, I actually forgot it because I mean, in 2013 we saw a lot more of that because, like, all of you guys, you remember there was so many windruns. Oh, top.
He's going to blink on him. He pops the BKB, and the Static Storm not really going to do all that much because the BKB is already popped. Wisp, he tried for a relocate out, I believe, and he didn't bring the Morphling with him. Morphling's going to be just fine, but that relocate pretty much wasted.
Yeah, and now I don't know Wisp, that relocate, and now he's ending up besides all those heroes. Tether away. Yeah. No, he's not fast enough. He's not tethering away.
Arrow going to land on the Dota Stock, but they can't kill him. He's a Wraith King. He'll just come back to life, and now they have a smoke coming out from no one. He's looking for an engagement here. He has the invisibility rune as well, and it looks like he's going to bump into the entire enemy team with the Necronaut 3. They have vision, and now they're trying to blow up no one. Damage. It looks like to be able to get no the split coming out, and now the Boulder Toss going the way of Moon. He's trying to chase him down, glues back on the Morphling. Arrow to fly, not going to land anything, but here's the Chronosphere. A lot of hate going to the Morphling, and it's definitely worth it. Another Boulder Toss going the way of FNG, pulling forward by the Wraith King. He steals his ultimate. They can dive the base with impunity. Another stun going the way of FNG, power shot, and they'll be able to get the Beastmaster as well.
There wasn't even, I don't know why J4 didn't go for defensive disruption here on the Beastmaster. I think he was in range, but to be honest, everything started with that huge misplay of the Wisp. So we just think, like, the stand-in they use at the moment, I don't know, like, that was really a big misplay. Like, first he tried to relocate the morph out, is failing to tether, then he's coming back, failing to tether again, out. I think he would have been faster with the tether than the shackle animation, but I don't know, he just didn't go for it. I don't know, like, this way, of course, Power Rangers, they have the turtle now, but I don't know if they find enough farm here in the base or around the base. I think this is over. Like, I had hopes most of the game, but I think this time it's really over because now USH is controlling pretty much 2/3 of the map. Like with their map presence and everything, they can just, I don't know, spiral ahead. A Void and a Wraith King. The Panda alone is already a huge threat to Power Rangers. With 2 other farmed cores in the background, I don't think they can take it, especially not with the Morph. The Morph far away from, I don't know, everything. Also no shotgun. Like the shotgun, for example, on the Brewmaster would have led to a kill. But yeah, I don't know. Give him 100 damage more, just a better early game, mid game, and a better support in form of a Wisp. And this game would have been different because they would have bursted down the Panda all the time before he gets into Primal Split. But we saw it again. It's like a deja vu all the time. They find the Brewmaster being a bit confident and very cocky, going in there, and then Primal Split at like what, 200 HP. It's the 3rd time that happens. Oh, look at this chrono.
Void, he goes for the Chronosphere and catches out 2. J4 blown up immediately. Now FNG also in a lot of trouble. Focus Fire RC gets that kill. Now they relocate in, but on top of the Static Storm. And now the Kinetic Field going to hold him in place. So Wisp is going to die as well. No, he actually relocates back out towards the top lane. Or what was that?
That was, I don't know. That was
weird.
I think that was GG. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
USH can decide now what they go for. High Crown or Roshan, and I think they don't even give a damn about Roshan. They just go directly High Crown. Why not? They have everything, maybe forcing out buybacks. Let's see who actually got buybacks. Morph doesn't even have it. The Beastmaster, he could. Shadow Demon coming back now in just a second. I don't know, we just doing some split push here and there. He has actually a Ghost Scepter, but that doesn't help you a lot. And look at this. Look at this. They're just going to go for more. Melee racks down, 2nd tower is the target, and they just can.
Yeah, Dodostock just going to tank up this tower. He has the ultimate, even if he dies, like, it just doesn't matter, and he's still alive. Air to fly. Going to land onto Pachibishu, that's a little bit problematic. Now they're going to go the Roar all the way towards the Faceless Void, but the Wraithings come back and they've gotten 2 melee barracks going to purge up Dodostock, and it looks like Dodostock's going to die in the end. He throws out 1 more stun, but in the end is cleaned up. He drops a gem there, that's kind of important, but at the same time, 2 barracks down, they're looking for where maybe they'll be able to catch out this Brewmaster. He has the split, he's going to drop it, and now in the end, FNG's just going to die. He doesn't have a lot of backup, but he can just completely control these fights. So clean up the Fire Panda, and Defensive Disruption will keep the Beastmaster alive. Now they're focused down the Earth one, and it looks like eventually he will go down. So they get 2 kills, but
look at this. This was not even a kill on the Brewmaster. This was a raid boss, sort of. This was a 25-man raid with the help of even neutrals to get the goddamn Brewlings down. That's how much damage Power Rangers lacks at the moment. But nevertheless, you said it. That was, of course, quite greedy from USH going top there, but they got what they wanted. Rex number 1 down, Rex number 2 down, so nobody cares about range Rex anyway, and Void, there we go.
Yeah, FNG just gets blown up, Arrow to fly, not going to land, and I mean, yeah. I mean, even if they got an advantage there from the kills after, even if they got a full team wipe, it just doesn't matter. They don't have the pushing power to capitalize on the enemy high ground, and now USH are just going to start respawning, and they can go again. They can take this Roshan eventually. It looks like that will be the choice, and then they can just go for that last set of racks.
Yep, it's pretty much 1 Rex, of course. I mean, this time they actually have a tier 2 tower still standing here, but I think that's pretty much their next objective. Why not? They have the Windrunner. The funny part is, this support Windrunner with his amazing shackles, like he's also starting to transition into damage. I mean, he's a drum holder now, actually with 5 charges. This looks like Heflatv mode gameplay right now, like for all those who are following me on my private stream, of course. Like, I'm also one of those guys who always buys the drums, and at the end of the game, like, may it be, I don't know, 40 minutes or 140 minutes, I have all 5 charges still. It's, like, really, like, when I play with other people, they're always shouting, like, Heflatv, use the goddamn drums. But either way, so here's a, like, stats holder here, plus, of course, the Maelstrom. Now he's actually going for a point booster, so hashtag Aghanim Scepter on a Windrunner. Still a pretty useless item as such. There's at least better alternatives, I think, but sure, why not? You got the gold. They could use it for the building damage, of course, as well as hero damage now after 6.81 the Windrunner. And I don't know, Power Rangers, they're trying to do some split push here, force USH back, but I think USH is like not really giving a damn, because they know, like, hey guys, if we get those racks down, they are pretty much free down, and that's it. Look at them, they just stay. And there is, who's actually the one preventing it? Yep, Arseek is the one who's TPing back.
Yeah, that Morphling just doesn't do enough damage. We have the
Chrono
Chronosphere that completely whiffed, but FNG is just going to be bashed. The Chronosphere wasn't even necessary.
Exploded.
Now, Cheshire Cat first hit bash on him. He pops the BKB, and he's just going to be completely zoned out, trying to focus down this Faceless Void. But now, dominating streak for Android P. They get the kill on the Morphling as well as with buybacks coming out in galore. Let's see, they'll be able to get the kill on towards the Shadow Demon, and, well, Rana's up in the air, flying around in the Cyclone, leap away from her. Then you glimpse her back stun coming out from Wraith King, and she'll die as well. Morphling, he gets the ultimate off of the Wraith King, but GG, well played, called out by Cheshire Cat and Moon, trying to man fight up against this. Well, he's surviving for now, at least, and now waveform away. I think they'll be able to get this kill before the game ends, and it looks like, no, saved by the bell.
Oh well. So it is true, Power Rangers without Scandal, and I'm not saying Scandal is the one carrying the team, but like also the other 4 guys, and I like them all. Like, I was actually a huge fan of Power Rangers. I always liked how they were the Joker against tier 1 teams, even beating them from time to time. Like, with Power Rangers you were never sure what the result is, and here I actually thought they are the slight favorite still because all the experienced players, but Ush just striking precisely and very hard on Ush here, and on Power Rangers, and 2-0. Very nice, and therefore congratulations to Ush, and I don't know, I really hope for Power Rangers they're gonna fix their like sort of weak state at the moment, because in my opinion still a nice team. They just need to find their 5th, and then let's see what's happening in the future. Either way, guys, that's it for us here on Heflatv 1, but go to Heflatv 2. There's the other game of the GG League. It is Turtle versus Übelst. I think this is a Swedish team versus the Germans. Also very nice to watch, so please all go over there. I'm also gonna put the link in the chat, and that's pretty much it. So thank you for supporting us. Like, if you want to support more, of course, then subscribe to our channels or follow them in the first place. On our Facebook and Twitter you always get the news with what tournament, what league, what game, what caster, all the information, everything is there, and every like, every follow, every click helps us to get Heflatv further. So we would like to have this support from you, and you will also get something, of course, in return very soon. Giveaways, a lot of action, more content to come, more tournaments, more nice games to come, and of course all the emotes and whatnot, everything's coming, all for the viewers. And now some ads, some music. My name is Heflatv, and casting with me that was Mr. Grandis. We see you soon, guys.